I'm Madeline Farris, and today we will be talking about my website for English, my 20-time project, and the website is called Rise from the Ashes of Words, and it is about gaslighting. And joining me here tonight will be Elaine Phoenix, who is who is an ex-lawyer and an author of 10 novels, one of which is named Ripple, critically acclaimed. And I'm writing about gaslighting because I experienced it with my father, and I feel as if gaslighting is not addressed properly by media outlets today. Elaine Phoenix, what have you written about gaslighting?
I've written a lot about gaslighting, but if it's okay with you, I actually had the opportunity to read through a couple of your blogs, and I really loved the song that you led with, which was Eminem's "Love the Way You Lie." What are you writing about? What's all that about? What is that song about?
Well, there's basically this man who keeps hurting and abusing his lover, but she keeps coming back to him because he keeps telling her, I'll never do it again, and he keeps just gaslighting her over and over again.
How do you define gaslighting?
I define gaslighting as a form of psychological manipulation in which the abuser degrades and superimposes their own reality on that of their victim, and eventually could cause their victim to become crazy or completely doubt their own self-worth.
So in Eminem's "Love the Way You Lie," she basically keeps going back to him, even though he keeps hitting her, and he sort of blames her for it.
Yes.
I read in your blog.
He's basically saying, that's what happens when you cross a tornado and a hurricane, and he's saying her temper is just as bad as his.
I've heard that from other people. When I tried to talk to people about abuse, you know what they said to me?
What?
They said it takes two to tango. Which completely invalidates anything that the man is doing. You also wrote a blog which is titled, I think, Enough, and you were talking about the burning bed defense. And
yes.
As an ex-lawyer, I was really interested in what you had to say in Enough. Where did you hear about the burning bed defense?
From you, actually.
From me? Is it from the book that I wrote, or talking about law school? Because we used to. I don't know if you know this, but in criminal law, we talked about this case all along. It's a 1977 case in which a woman basically burns her husband to death, and that sounds horrible, but her lawyer used a special defense of temporary insanity, but he concocted it out of her reality, which was for 12 years he had been physically and verbally torturing her, and every time she tried to leave, he'd go back and chase her. So this defense actually worked, and she didn't go to prison for it. And when I wrote Ripple, I took that burning bed defense and took it a little bit further. In Ripple, you've got a main character named Phoebe, who's been abused by her father. When her mom finds out about it, she takes justice into her own hands. She knows that her husband, who is actually a judge, a state judge, will never be convicted of his crime. So she waits for him, and she kills him with a golf club. So the book is about the burning bed defense. So I'm actually really glad that you wrote about it. It's very interesting.
My producer is waving at me. We have to pause for a quick commercial break. This is Jim Farris, the media consultant from Firebright Incorporated. Jim, take it away.
Are the gas lights in your home dimming all of a sudden? Do you wake up in absolute darkness? Try Firebright lighter fluid, and your gas lights will never go out. Commercial brought to you by Firebright Incorporated in Virginia. Call 703-555-1212. Again, that's 703-555-1212. For further information and to get your own starter pack of gas lighter fluid today, or visit us at www.gaslightprevention.com. Again, that's www.gaslightprevention.com. Thank you. Now I'll turn it back over to our lovely guest speakers.
Thank you.
Oh, I wanted to ask you a question, if that's okay, Madeline.
Okay.
Why did you decide to write about gaslighting to start with?
Well, I experienced it whenever I'm over at my father's, and it's a form of abuse that is not mentioned, and it happens in so many relationships. About 49% of people do not know what gaslighting is.
What does it feel like to be gaslit?
It feels as if somebody is destroying you from the inside out.
You mentioned to me the other day that your father said that you never would make it as a writer. And I wrote back to you and said to you, oh my goodness, you're doubting your own reality.
Mm-hmm.
Is that accurate? Is that how gaslighting makes you feel?
Yes, because the gaslighter, in almost a narcissistic manner, turns everything over so you don't believe yourself.
So you don't believe the abuse that you're suffering, or you don't even believe in your own reality? Is that what gaslighting does to you?
Yeah, eventually.
Do you think that there's a way out? I mean, you wrote about it in your blog enough.
It depends. I mean, she had no choice but to kill him, because otherwise he would have just kept following her and her kid and eventually would have killed her.
You mean in a movie enough?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is the way out? Do you remember how I got them out in Ripple?
Well, she kind of killed him too, so.
Well, she killed him, but how did they get out? Where did they go?
A safe house, a woman's shelter.
Right.
Brian's house, or Bryant house.
So what hope is there for victims of gaslighting?
There's always hope. Sometimes they don't even know they're being gaslit, so they don't know how to stop that.
So they have to know the signs of being gaslit?
Yes.
Would you say that's one of the ways out? But
Definitely.
what's the final and non-violent way out? What did we do?
To leave.
To leave.
Well, that's all we have for today. Thank you for listening.
Thanks for having me on the show. Oh, you forgot to ask me where people can find us, or people can find me.
Oh, yes.
I'm sorry to put in my own word here. If you want to find any of my books, you can find me on walkingeachotherhome.us, ElainePhoenix.com, or MadelinePhoenix.com. And again, thank you so much for inviting me on your show. I had a lovely time.
Thank you.